Now, officially, welcome to the meeting. We will start our meeting at first by commenting some important issues that most of you should keep in mind, especially those issues that are related to these tough times. It has been difficult for all of us to be working on under these conditions. However, this is the way we have to do it. Probably the pandemic is not going to stop in the following months. It's a long time. It has been a long time since we started with all of this situation. But well, I consider that we need to adapt to the conditions. In fact, what I have seen during these last months is a lot of commitment from most of the teachers. The commitment is especially on the way they are preparing their activities, preparing their classes, in the way also they are pushing their students to be in their classes on time, as we are doing right now here in this meeting. Okay. I want you, teachers, to consider that these have been difficult times. However, although these difficult circumstances, many teachers have been really committed. And one of the purposes, we have many goals to cover in this meeting. One of the purposes to cover in the meeting is to show my thankfulness for those teachers who are following the rules that should be applied in our virtual classrooms. For example, teachers who are wearing the uniform, even for those teachers who are preparing specific conditions to give their classes in a special place, not just in a corner in their houses for the ones who are giving classes in their houses, but also to prepare a special place in which they try to show professionalism to their students, and the most important, the respect of their classes. Right now, even I can see in this moment some teachers, I can see in your sessions that you have backgrounds that correspond to a classroom. As you can see, even I have my background that corresponds to a general meeting, the ones we used to have for many years in an auditorium. We really miss those days. We know those days are not coming back in the short term, but probably in the future, I'm sure in the future, we're going to have again our face-to-face meetings, our meetings in one of the facilities in our schools, or even in the auditorium facilities. Then what I'm proud of saying is about these teachers who are showing that professionalism in their classes, and the most important, that it's not only the teacher who opens the camera, but also the teacher is forcing his students to open cameras, and that's great. What is important is to see how the students are taking their classes. Last days, I have been entering to some classes, and in some virtual classrooms, I noticed that students are not in class. A group that might be with 10 students, just 2 or 3 students are connecting. They are taking the class. And the ones who are connected are not turning their cameras on. And we don't know exactly if they are paying attention all the time the teacher is giving instructions. That's why I want you to follow the examples of the teachers that I'm mentioning right now, or I'm showing right now. Teachers who are doing a very good job in their classes by leading correctly the instructions in class. When we were in our facilities, in our classrooms, we used to control punctuality. We used to control behavior. We used to control the use of Spanish in classes. We used to control the use of books in their classes. So in these times, we need to repeat and copy the same systems that we used to apply in our classrooms. I know that many teachers had to adapt to the way to give classes, virtual classes through the distance. But after almost 10 months of this pandemic, I think it is time in this moment not only to use the corresponding digital resources, but I think also it is time to use the systems that were so important in the Institute to make our service better each day. That's why I can see that in general, most of the teachers are committed using extra resources in their classrooms. But there are some other teachers who are still thinking that this pandemic is not causing problems. You have to turn around and to see the number of students you have, the number of groups you have, the incomes each school is receiving every week, and you have seen the big difference from the past. Many students decided to quit. Of course, we understand why, but some other students decided not to continue taking classes because they didn't feel satisfied with the service we were giving. I don't want to say that it's majority. Actually, I am proud to say of saying that it is not majority, but some students decided to stop taking classes because they considered classes were not effective. Even parents had their questions about this situation. That's why they decided to stop paying their kids' tuitions, and it affects enormously to our service, our job. That's why right now, teachers, that invitation for you is to follow the rules. All of you have to follow the rules that are not just from Conversa. The rules, if you see other uh, testimonies from other schools, the rules have been applied in almost all the schools around the world. And it's very nice, really, believe me, it's very nice to see the uh, students taking their classes as in these conditions we are right now here. But there are still some teachers who do not understand the importance of having their students open their cameras, even teachers opening their cameras here. Right now, the evidence is right now here. I have seen some teachers who not even have a professional, a formal picture of Conversa here in this meeting. And imagine it is a general meeting. I don't want to imagine what happens in a normal daily class in schools. However, what in general, what I can see in this moment is that you are following the instructions correctly, and I'm very happy because of that. I would like also to mention something about what a teacher is so that you keep on mind. And probably you remember one video that we published, that we made last May, that makes reference to you. This video was actually one of the videos that we used to celebrate Teachers' Day. You might remember last year, when we were celebrating Teachers' Day, we consider all the work that you were doing in classes. And the things were completely different from now. And I would like to share again that video so that you remember what you were able to do in classes, in classrooms. I hope you remember these times. And I hope what is the most important is I hope that you consider these times to come back. Dear Bachillerato Computer and English teachers in Conversa, sometimes it may feel like people have forgotten how important you really are. You are an inspirer, an empower, an engager. These reviewers are just a short sample of the many you demonstrate with all your students every single day. Your creativity, your dedication, your passion, your love to your students. It's time for a reminder reminder for every student that says, I'm not smart enough. I don't get it. I can't. I want to start. There's always a teacher who says, you can. Never stop. For every student who needs patience, knowledge, someone to believe in him. There's a teacher who will do whatever it takes to encourage, challenge, engage, inspire, motivate. Teachers, you make the big difference, reaching out to each student to become the next great generation. We thank you for your continued support and participation in our activities under these challenging and difficult circumstances. Thank you for being genuine. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for being behind your students to help them. Thank you for being one of the greatest teachers in Conversa. May you inspire others to achieve the greatest you have. You are the super teachers. Congratulations in your day. With gratitude, Universitario Conversa. Porque gracias a su profesionalismo forman alumnos. Okay, teachers, it was a video published last Teachers' Day. It was in May. And now, as you can see, well, in that video, I consider all the evidences that you were doing before the pandemic, all your students in classrooms. I think those are good memories, something to remember, something that we need to remember that you were able to do in the past. Now, the invitation for you is to continue doing the extraordinary job that you have been doing during these difficult, very, very difficult days, very difficult times, because it's not easy to give a class using the distance. I mean, having the barrier of the distance. However, as you saw in previous pictures, many teachers have been doing extraordinary work. Then I'm expecting the same for you. And I would like you to remember some important characteristics of teachers. A teacher should remember that he is a facilitator. A teacher makes the things easy for his students, not to make the things difficult for them. But I always say to make the things challenging also means to make the things productive for the students. And when I say productive, it means the students need to see results in everyday lesson. That's why one of the things that you need to consider when you prepare your classes and at the end of each one is to see how much your students advanced. That is the best way to measure what you are doing with your students, so that when students finish the module, they are ready to prepare and present a final project. A teacher is also creative. That's why teachers need to be using constantly resources, different resources in their classes, not just what we normally do in these days, that is WebEx or Zoom or any other Google Meets or any other platform to give the class online, but to use the extra resources. Some teachers have been using extra resources that are amazing. In fact, today I would like to use some tools that I have been discovering that might be helpful for your classes, like, for example, Flippity. Probably it is a tool that most of the teachers don't know. Or Kahoot. Actually, I was asking some teachers if they knew something about this tool, and they told me they didn't know. 2 or 3 teachers already know how to use it. But in general, there are tools, many tools that we can start using with our students to make classes attractive, different, and the most important, productive. A teacher is also proactive. It means that we don't have to give you the instructions, teachers, to do what you know that you have to do. To have a proactive teacher will help the company, will help the school, will help the classroom, will help your students to, to try with some different things each day. You don't have to wait for instructions. Actually, I have told many times the English leaders that they have freedom to decide if they want to apply any new activity with their students, like the workshops, reading workshop, movie workshop, singing workshop, but any workshop that can be attractive and useful to give the class all the time. 2 more characteristics a good teacher should have are strictness. When teachers are strict, it doesn't mean they have to be rude or impolite, but it means teachers have to understand the power they have in their hands to use it in benefit of their students. And when I mean the power, means you can pass or you can fail to the next book. And I have seen also that students are passing from level through level with no preparation. And I can see this result at the end when they get to me presenting the certification exam and they get low scores. That is something that we need to avoid right now, teachers. Please help me to become strict with your students. And I repeat again, you don't have to be rude or you don't have to be impolite. But if they don't accomplish the activities that as a teacher you are giving to them, homework, the use of the book, avoiding the use of Spanish in class, delivering activities in the e-academy, if they are not doing the activities that must fulfill the requirements to pass from one book through another book, then don't pass your students. The worst that we can do is to make our students pass when they are not learning. I know that some students, or most of the students, are taking right now high school classes. Even teachers have told me high school students misbehave a lot. They do not have the discipline they should have in a classroom. However, at the end, you should understand that they are students, yes? And if they are students, you have the control on them. You cannot permit your students take the control of the class. And also when I say strict, when I'm talking about strictness, I'm talking about leadership. You are the leaders. Every teacher is a leader in the classroom. The teacher is the one who gives instructions. The teacher is the one who controls every situation in class. Then if you decide your students do not have the level to pass, if you have already used different resources to make your students improve, like one of them, to give special activities to them in class, to talk to them after classes, to sell the benefits of doing the things on time, even taking the student to the coordinator to talk more seriously about that problem, or even talking to parents, to have a meeting with parents when they are on their age, when they are younger than 18. After following all of this process, giving extra help, applying extra exams to them, giving more exercises, after doing all of these activities with students, if you notice they are not advancing, especially because they are not committed or because they have big problems, don't pass your students to the next level. It's embarrassing to receive, and I have done it this year, to receive TESOL students who are applying for the position with very low level. They don't know how to answer even intermediate questions. I don't want to say basic because of course they can answer basic questions, but they don't know how to answer intermediate questions. And that's because we permit they continue in that process. That's why, please, teachers, right now we have a review some important things that you need to follow as teachers. One of them is to follow the rules of a virtual classroom. The rules, cameras open for both, for teachers and for students. The teacher itself, in some minutes, she will tell you some important information about the results, about the things she has seen in her supervisions. And even I have been witness about this. I have entered to some of your classes and I see your cameras are closed. Then I tell you to open your cameras and I can see that some of you don't have the uniform. Then students don't open their cameras. We don't know if they are really taking their classes. Even I have seen a lot of Spanish in classes. I have seen a very, very flat class, a very simple class with no creativity, with no imagination, with no extra preparation. Many mistakes. That's the purpose of this meeting. We're starting the year 2021. Well, this is the third week. I think we are on time. And I think that you are able to do many things because you have skills. You are not improvised teachers. Most of you have a certification, even certifications from Cambridge, and it includes the preparation of a teacher. Most of you have a lot of experience, months of experience, and some others have years of experience. But if there are teachers who think because of the time they have given classes for a long time, they already know how to do the things, even how to improvise a class at the moment, that's a mistake. Believe me, even for me, that I have many years of experience, even for me, it's difficult to improvise a class. That's why we always need to have preparation of the things that we are doing. Okay, until this moment, we have seen the requirements, important things that you have to cover in class, also what you do. You are facilitators, you are teachers who have creativity, who should have creativity, who should be proactive, who should be strict, who should fail students when they are not passing, when they are not doing the things correctly. But also, I'd like to consider extra resources. And today I'm going to share three important projects that I want you to reply to your students. One of those projects has to do with the things that we have already commented before, the things of something different in class, something different in class. I want you to consider this. Pay attention. I want you to consider this website that I told to the English leaders some weeks ago that is called Amigos Ingleses. Actually, it's a very useful tool that I'd like both teachers and students use these days because it will help them to improve their listening. If you enter to the website, you can see it's very easy to enter to the website for the ones who didn't know about it. It's amigosingleses.com. It's a couple. The boy is British. The girl is Spanish. But it's a couple that is creating useful material. The useful material includes many skills, many abilities. But one of the main skills is listening. That's something that our students need to develop. That's why I want you to start working with you and with the rest of the teachers, the rest of all of your students you have in class. I'm going to do an activity. Once you enroll, it's very easy. You just have to identify yourself with your name and with your email address. By the way, everybody must be using the institutional official email address. During these days, I have been reaching you to ask you for your email address. And today, for the ones who don't know their accounts, their addresses, I'm going to give you this information, or the ones who have forgotten the password, or the ones who have not used this for a long time and then the session had to be closed. We are going to help you on that. But what I want you is to start using for any activity these exercises that gives your students, and of course to you, the opportunity to practice with the language. We are going to have an activity. For the ones who have already enrolled, probably you know how it works. But I'm going to share the activity, the real activity, and some of you are going to be selected to answer this one. Actually, the teacher itself is going to help me with one activity. It's a roulette created in Flippity. For the ones who don't know how to make this one, we're going to show you. We have the time to do it today so that you start copying these ideas and you start using in your classes. Please, teacher itself, can you share the screen right now in the roulette of teachers, so that we select one teacher that is going to participate in this first activity. I hope the teacher is in the session.
Hi, can you see it?
Yes, we can see it. Please turn it. Well, right now this is a big roulette with 60 teachers' names. So that you can see the teacher's name, it's on the top. Who's the teacher? The teacher Eric Galicia Rubio. Thank you, Itzel. Please stop sharing. Okay, the teacher Eric is going to help us with this activity. I'm going to share it. And the purpose is just to listen to the answer of the activity. I have it here. It has little by little, they are including more activities, more listening activities. And what I like a lot from this website is that the class is already prepared. The materials are here. We have the script of the listening activities, the audios, very good audios, by the way. And it has the opportunity to make students choose the answers with multiple choice and even to fill in the blanks. And I can say the class is here. The class is prepared. So, teacher Eric, have you ever entered to this website, Amigos Ingleses?
Yes.
Okay, then you know how it works.
Yes.
Is there any other teacher who has already entered to this website? It was an instruction given some weeks ago, but sometimes the messages, I have seen the messages are not given to teachers. That's why the necessity of having this meeting today. Is there any other teacher? You can open your microphone and say, yes, I already know this, or I have already used this website with my students. Even you can share the experience.
Yes, teacher. Me, I have already worked with this webpage.
And what do you think? What's your opinion?
It's good. It's very nice. Yes, I like it a lot.
Okay, and did you see?
And it's useful.
Did you see or did you hear? Did you receive any comment from the students?
The students ask me the name of the webpage, and I given them, and they are checking the material.
Okay, that's right. Any other teacher who has already used this one? Nobody else? Well, if nobody else is saying that has already used this material, it means that probably you didn't know even about the website. That's why I want you to start considering this website now. From now on, there are some basic listening activities. You need to see which one corresponds to your student's level. If you see that is one that corresponds to intermediate or advanced, well, apply it in the corresponding level, and we'll see if we can play right now. Well, as I was telling you before, you make your students answer some questions. Eric is going to listen and is going to answer the first question. We're going to have only some tries with this video so that we don't take too much time, but the idea is to show you how it works. Are you ready, Eric?
Yes.
Okay. You let me know if you can listen to the video.
Oh my Lord! That's much better. Hi everyone. Okay, Philip. Fake time. What's the deal? Why are there so many women walking around in the UK looking extremely
Can you listen, Eric?
orange?
It's like interrupting a lot. The audio
Now
is
that you
like
mention it,
with a lot of interference.
Okay, well, pay attention, teachers. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes we wonder, well, how is it possible to work with an activity when the video is not running the way it should run? Then it has the option of downloading the audio apart. In case you have that problem, and that is what I'm going to do right now with the teacher, Eric, well, with all of you. I'm going to play the audio, just the audio. You don't will see the you won't see the video.
okay, Philip. Fake time. What's the deal? Why are there so many women walking around in the UK looking extremely orange?
Now that you mention it, yes, it's true. We do have a lot of orange women in the UK, but the reason is obvious, isn't it? It's because we don't have any sun.
But why is it so badly applied and they look like walking carrots? It's just really disturbing when you're on the train and there's someone looking at you.
Nobody wants to look pale, do they? Nobody likes having pale skin. People want to look like they've just got back from holiday.
If they want to look healthy, they're not doing very well, are they? I've applied fake tan before and nobody noticed. That's the thing.
Okay.
Okay, so just pick.
Now we have three options. Can you give me the answer for the question? Read the question and give me the right option.
Okay, is why do British women wear so much fake tan? And the answer is the first option, because they don't get enough sun and they don't want to look pale.
Okay, let's choose the option right now here. And the option is, how is it, Eric?
Correct?
It's correct, exactly. Yes, that's right. Now, we're going to have another chance, another try with another teacher. Please, itself, follow the same process. Choose one student, or choose one teacher from the roulette, please. Okay, now we have the teacher Angeles. Angeles, please open your microphone. Are you here in the meeting? She's a teacher from Xochimilco. Yeah, she is here in the meeting. I can see her. Open your microphone, even open your camera for a moment, please, teacher Angeles. That's why this is one of the reasons teachers and students must open their cameras in activities, because it is very common, very, very common. People do not reply, and we don't know if they are really here in the meeting or in the class. Angeles, are you ready?
She just wrote me. She's telling me she's not in her house. She's in the street.
Very, very bad. So we are going to have another teacher. Okay, please, teacher itself, turn the roulette. So we are going to mark a cross to the teacher Angeles from Xochimilco. That's exactly what I want you to copy, teachers, in your classes. Be strict. So we have another teacher from Xochimilco, the teacher Lorena, the teacher Lorraine. Lorraine, are you here, please?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're going to do the same activity with a second question. I'm on to share. You will see the question. You will listen to the activity, the dialogue. Now we have a second question. You can start reading the question. You can read the options. And now I have the audio. Remember that I'm playing the audio apart because I don't load it before in case of those situations, because yes, I know, and some teachers and some students can say, teacher, the connection is slow. Yeah, sometimes it happens. And part of class preparation is to prevent those possible problems. That is to be proactive. So what I did is to download the audio, the listening, and just I play the listening apart. It's better to do it in that way. Then please, teacher Lorena, here you have the second part of the listening so that you can complete the second question.
Picture yourself, it's a sunny and extremely hot day in August. You're in the UK, you're walking down the street, and suddenly you hear this strange music in the background. And it's just getting closer and closer and closer. Is that the knife sharpener? Not the knife sharpener? Is it maybe the upholster?
No, it's not the upholster.
What could it be?
It's the ice cream man who comes around in his ice cream van. So if you hear this music, go directly towards it and buy yourself a nice ice cream.
Well, I must say they're not very nice.
What do you mean it's not nice? It's ice cream. Everybody loves ice cream.
Yeah, but it's not very good quality.
Have you tried it?
Yeah. Did you have an ice cream van in your village when you were a child?
Oh, yes. Yeah. As soon as we heard that music, we would go running to our mum and we would ask her for some money.
Oh, you didn't have any pocket money saved?
Don't go towards it with your knives because the ice cream man will drive away very fast if he sees you coming towards him with your knives.
Oh my God, that would be hilarious.
Okay, now it's time for you, Lorena, to read the question and to choose the answer.
Okay, it says, who visits neighborhoods playing loud music? That's the ice cream man and his ice cream van.
Okay,
The number one.
Okay, let me see. Okay, your answer was right. The activity was very easy.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, we're going to have one more teacher, but the teacher itself is going to help us too. Okay, now we have a teacher from Chabacano, the teacher Armando, Luis Armando from Chabacano. But let's see if he's in the meeting. We don't see his name. Is he itself? Can you help me to see if he's in the meeting?
No, teacher, he's not.
That's terrible, really, really terrible. Well, it will help us also to call that teacher's attention for this meeting. So do it again, please, itself with another teacher. In the meantime, I find the teacher's name here to write across. Okay, we have a teacher from Moctezuma, the teacher Laura. Hello, Laura.
Yes. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, very clearly.
Perfect.
Very, very clearly. Thank you. Okay, are you ready for the activity?
Yeah, sure.
Do you like listening activities?
Sorry?
Do you like listening activities?
Yeah, I love them.
Have you already used this website?
No, I haven't,
Well,
but it's interesting, right?
Okay, now it is an opportunity for you to use it with your students. Now we have a little bit more difficult question, a little bit, but you are good at listening, then you will listen well. So here we have it.
It was a Friday evening and I walked into a fish and chip shop. Okay. And the man who was just in front of me, he looked at the menu and he said, "Can I have a chip patty, mate?" Oh yeah, chip patty. I thought, chip patty? That doesn't sound good. I don't know what that is, but that sounds bad. Can you tell us what a chip patty is and if you have ever eaten one?
Butty is another word for sandwich. So you can have a bacon butty, a sausage butty, or a chip butty. A chip butty is just 2 pieces of bread with some chips in the middle and maybe some ketchup on top.
So it's a chip sandwich, basically.
Yeah, a chip sandwich. Yeah, a chip butty. Have I tried one? Yes, of course I have.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's delicious. Especially if you're hungover, highly recommend a chip butty. Haven't you tried one?
Ready, Laura? Read the question and choose your answer, please.
Okay. It says, what is a chip body? It's a sandwich with chips inside.
So it's the second option.
The letter, yeah.
Oh, great. You are doing wonderfully, teachers. Great. Congratulations, teacher Laura, and congratulations to the other teachers who participated. Then we're not going to continue doing the activity because of the time, but I gave you the demo, how to do it, how to apply it. We'll see here more questions, more questions. They are multiple choice, but there will be a section in this part in which you make your students fill in the blanks some sentences. Here, just here. You can see that your students can drag the options, the answers, to complete the sentence that's filling the blanks. Is there someone who wants, even you can infer the answers after listening to the audio, to the video, the answers will be easy for you, for your students, but even you can infer some of the answers. Let's have a try. This is just volunteer. Who wants to try with question number 1, sentence number 1? Nobody wants to have skin. If you want to participate, just please, because of the number of teachers, there are many teachers here, just open your microphone and say your name.
Me, Robert.
Okay, Robert, please.
Nobody wants to have pale skin. Wait a second. Yes, a pale skin.
Okay. Teachers, do you know the option of dragging, giving your students the control of your mouse? Please, Robert, can you drag the answer? Can you answer right now? Move, drag your choice, drag it. You have the control.
No, I can. Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Now it's on the top. Okay, that's right. Robert, do you know this option? I mean, this tool in Zoom that you as a student in my class, in my session, that you can drag the answer? Did you know this?
Yes, I knew.
Perfect. That's great. For those teachers who didn't know, your class can be more interactive if you give the control of the mouse to your students. It's in this moment, I'm the teacher. It's my session in Zoom. But when you have the option of sharing a screen, there is another menu that will appear on the top, and it says mouse. You need to select the student you want to give the control, and then that student will have the opportunity to drag. Well, we're not going to complete the activity here, but we're going to verify. We verify, and how was your answer, Robert?
It was correct.
It was correct, yes. So actually, as I told you, the class is prepared. It's already prepared here. And in case students didn't know how to do it, well, there is a second opportunity to try it again. So the activity normally has 8 or 10 exercises. And something interesting, if you see on the bottom of the page of the website, you can find the audio. This is what I did before. I downloaded the audio. You can keep on your gadget, your computer, so that you don't have that problem that I had in my class, because it is embarrassing. But now after 10 months, I think we already have the experience that if internet is not working well while playing a video in YouTube or in a website, you can have it apart and you can play it so that you don't disturb your students' learning. Something else that you can find, worksheets. The worksheets are exercises, printed exercises based on what you have already given to your students, in this case, the exercise. You can also download these exercises. They are coming here. The option is to download the exercise, and you can see also the vocabulary part. Let's see here the vocabulary part. Here we have the new vocabulary. Unfortunately, this vocabulary is given from English to Spanish. But the option is here. Probably if you want to modify the file, because when you download it, it's a PDF, and you want to modify it, that will be much better. Even you will find the answers of the exercise. And finally, you will find the transcription of the listening. This is the transcription of the listening. So the activity is extremely good and complete. If you want to share in the chat your experience for the ones who have already used this, that's a good opportunity to make the others read or see different tools that teachers are using in their classes. If it is the first time you see Amigos Ingleses website. Also write how much you like the activity, if you consider it is going to be useful for you, the students, obviously for you as teachers. Don't forget that you will find different levels in the listenings. My recommendation is to listen to the activity first to see if it matches with your student's level and apply it. Okay. Now we're going to consider this other information. I told you I was going to tell you about 3 projects. One of them is Amigos Ingleses. Now everybody must be, please, using this website. Actually, this is not an option. This is compulsory. All of the teachers must use Amigos Ingleses plus extra ones. If you have extra ones, of course, you can use them. But what is compulsory? Okay, we can listen someone talking, but now remember that we have the option to close microphones. And also, that's another recommendation that I have for you. Try to tell your students when they are in your class, not only in yours, but in all classes, to tell their relatives, to tell their families. We know that they are living probably in small apartments and everybody is at home, but it's also a recommendation when they are taking their class, they should have a special place, special conditions to take the class with no interruptions. Sometimes it is not in our hands because we know many people from outside, from the street, the ice cream man, no, as we just listen into the video, or many other people pass. So this is the activity with listening things, listening stuff that you can share with your students. But we have this other project. The project is making, it says making new friends from all over the world. Okay. The same, I would like you to open your microphone, say your name if you want to participate, but I have a question here. What is a pen pal? Because now we're going to have a pen pal project for both, for students and for teachers. What is a pen pal? Open your microphone to participate and give your name, please, to identify faster. Nobody knows what a pen pal is? You have never heard?
Yes,
teacher. Okay, tell me, who's talking?
Me, Irina.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, don't forget to say your name, please. Okay.
I think that it's when you are in touch with a friend by mail. You write a friend by mail.
Okay, you are right. You are very, very close. Is to have friendship, to make friendship with someone from all over the world. That's the main idea of this activity of pen pal from different places. In fact, it is not a new project. It was already told some months ago to start making your students have contact with foreigners. Some teachers did it very well. I saw some evidences, but unfortunately, only 2 or 3 schools with 2 or 3 teachers were doing the activity. Not all of the teachers, not all of the students. And we have a big population of students. That's why now this is not a recommendation. This is a project that teachers need to put in practice with their students. But we cannot have this if we are not example. If I cannot tell you to open your cameras if I don't open mine. I cannot tell you to wear your uniform in the meantime we're in this meeting if I'm not wearing mine. That's why the first project must begin with teachers. That's why I'm going to explain you something about it. Well, the intention is to meet people who speak English. That is the main intention. That's why consider number 1 is to meet someone in another part of the world who speaks English. If it is with someone who speaks Spanish, or the activity is not going to work, it's not going to be effective in the way we want. That's why there are some websites that I was looking for, and I found this one, and I thought it was interesting. If you want to type the name of the website, it is globalpenfriends.com. It's obviously www.globalpenfriends.com. And it will take you to this front page in which you will start giving your email. Don't forget, every activity must be done with the institutional email account, email address. And then you invent a password. Then you will receive a mail with the approval and the way to register. Once you start registering with your information, one more time, you will have to give your email address and your registration will be completed. It will take you little by little how to do the process. Once you are in this website and you are already registered, you will have different options to start looking for people. Normally, people who are here have the same purpose as you. The purpose is to meet new people all over the world. That's why it is easier than in the option that I gave English leaders some months ago using social websites like Facebook or Instagram or any other social media, social website. And well, you will complete some information. It is especially to complete one profile about you. You will have to give some profile, some interest. You will have to give your age, etc., some information. Actually, you don't have to give your real name. It is not compulsory to enter with a real name. Once you start making friendship with someone, then that will be the opportunity to give more real information to that person. But once you have contact with a new person. And as you can see here, there are some options to look for the profiles, but as you can see here in the blue square, there is a section that says quick search. You will fill in, choosing even the country you want to select. My recommendation, always try to do it with native speakers. However, there are people from, for example, Spanish countries who speak English. And if there is a profile that you consider was good for your election, you can also choose someone from another country. But the intention is to practice the language. Especially here, practice writing. In Amigos Ingleses, your students will practice listening, but now with Global Pen Friends, the intention is to make students write. And of course, you have to be the example. Here, for example, I have one girl from the United Kingdom. And then I start having communication with her. How can I have communication with her? I will show you in a moment. By the way, there is another section that says countries, and you can choose the country. There are many countries, many countries that you can choose. Right now, the information that I'm showing right now, it's in my PowerPoint presentation. But once you enter, if you click on view, you will see some important information about that country. That's extremely interesting. The information takes you to a link in Wikipedia, and you will see too much information about that country, and that's good for our students to know more about the culture of the country. And then if you click in the name of the country, you will see different people from that country, and then you choose the ones that you prefer. Well, how can you start having that communication with that person that you select? The first contact that you will have after reading the profile and after checking that was of your interest, there is a button that says send section, send message, and this section will appear in which you can write the first letter, the first message, the first letter to that person. It needs to be a respectful and interested message to catch the person's attention. If it is a message that is not clear, that it is not respectful, I'm sure you will not receive any reply. Okay. Something interesting about this, or something important to tell you about this website, is that you will receive credits. The website, there are two options in this website, in which everything is free, and the other one you have to pay. Of course, I want you to use the free section as well as for your students. What is interesting here, what is important to consider, is that you can send one message every 12 hours. I mean, if you send a message today, you cannot send the message in 2 or 3 hours. You have to wait 12 hours to receive a second credit. That's why, as you can see here, the message says you have 1 credit. That's the only interesting or important part to consider. After that, you will continue having contact every 12 hours with a person. That's why, well, I think it's not going to be an activity to make both teachers or students to be here having contact and contact and contact. Later on, the other option is that you can get that communication and especially that confidence with people, that they can give you a personal email address. If they give you one personal email address, you don't have to wait the 12 hours to start having contact with a person. Okay, until here, any question? I think it's extremely easy. Any question? Someone who wants to make a question?
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Great, great. Okay,
No, teacher.
Don't forget, the activity, it's part of a project. My advice, try it first and then give it to your students. You have to assign it to your students. Now, this is also an opportunity to tell you how to start writing to a pen pal, because you might wonder, well, I already reached a person, I already chose a person, but how do I start writing to the person? Okay, this is an example. I think it will be useful for you. To start writing a message, to start writing a letter to a pen pal. There are some rules in writing, not only for these messages, but in general, especially if you have to do it correctly. And it says, well, I'm going to request for some help. The teacher, Francisco from San Cristobal, is going to help me. Please, Frank, open your microphone.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, and start reading what is coming in capital letter.
Okay, begin your letter with dear, pen pal name or nickname.
As I said before, normally people enter with nicknames. They don't use real names. But if you already have the real name, well, you will write what you have. Please continue reading, Frank, the letter.
Okay, dear Michael, introduce yourself and give some basic information about you and your family.
That is going to be part of the first paragraph. Something to do, it's to introduce yourself. In this case, well, it's just an example. That's why we have this name. Please continue reading, Frank.
Okay, my name is Kira. I'm 16 years old and I live in Florida with my mom, dad, little sister, and my grandmother.
Okay, thank you, teacher Frank.
Yes, no problem.
So it is just the introductory part. It's short, it's brief, it's direct. Please, teacher Viridiana, can you help me with the next information?
Yes, teacher. Okay, provide some more details about your life. Consider writing about your hobbies, your preference, and what your family members do.
Please read the information.
Yes.
Continue, please.
Okay. My mom works as an accountant, and my father's teacher calculus. My sister is in the 5th grade and learns language. I'm the odd one out because I am not very good at math. However, I play the flute and really enjoy listening to all types of music. I also love writing with animals, especially with birds.
Okay, now their advice, now in this paragraph, close the microphone, please. The advice in this paragraph is to start giving some details, what you normally do. Sometimes as I have to mention this, sometimes students do not have any creativity, any imagination. But actually, the most effective way to practice is with the real information. They don't have to invent any information. Everybody has parents. Some students have family, uncles, aunts, cousins, some relatives, and they can give some interesting facts about those people. Okay, the next information, please. The teacher, Alexis from Tasqueña. Can you help me, please, Alexis?
All right. Ask your pen pals some questions, but make sure not to overwhelm. Ask 2 or 3 questions, well, that you are able to answer as well.
Okay, please.
Wait just 1 minute. I need to remove my thingies from my mouth. The town I live in is very small. Do you live in a town small or in a large city? I love to travel and have always wanted to visit France. Do you live, do you like to travel as well? Have you ever visited the United States?
Okay, thank you, Alexis. Thank you very much. Well, now what is coming here is to make some questions, not too many questions, but the idea is to start having that contact with them about some things that you would like to know, to show interest about something you would like to know about that person. Even my recommendation, that's what I mentioned before, is to check in the facts of the country, to check some general information about that country. Yeah, if the country is large, if there are beaches near the country, the continent in which the country is, to show that interest. Finally, we're going to ask to the teacher, let me see here, the teacher Joanne from Periférico. Joanne, please, could you continue reading?
Yes, end your letter by expressing interest in hearing back from your pen pal. Hope to hear from you soon.
This is a very common expression in which you are showing that you are anxious to receive the feedback in your message, to receive the answers soon. But unfortunately, I told you, you have to wait 12 hours to continue having contact in the website. Actually, the rest of the communication, if after 2 or 3 messages, you can have it in personal messages, in a personal email, that would be great. But you have to gain the person's confidence. Once you gain the person's confidence, you will be able to have more closer communication with that person. Now we're going to ask the teacher Daniel from San Cristobal, please, to finish reading the letter.
Yes, teacher. Enter the letter by expression interest in hearing.
No, the next part, please.
The next part. Send your letter right in sincerity, the best greets, sincerely, Karina.
Okay, please, Daniel, read correctly. Signed your letter with sincerely, best regards. Please repeat.
Sign your letters with, can you repeat the
sincerely?
Sign? Sincerely, the best regards.
Regards. These are expressions that normally in an informal letter are used. There are other expressions that you might find, but normally in an informal letter, and this is informal because it is for a pen pal, people should use. And finally, your signature, well, in this case, the signature, it's the teacher's name, well, the person's name. As you can see, in a letter like this, you can express a complete message and have a good impression since the beginning, to show interest, to express some general facts about you and the interest of knowing more facts about that person. And this is the first contact that you can have. Copy the model that you can have from this letter is what I want you to do the first time. Once you have a reply, once you receive a reply, the first reply, you can even receive questions from the person. You can answer the message with all the information that the person is requesting to you. Now we're going to ask the teacher, I'd like to see if the teacher Yvonne from NESA is here. Open your microphone, Yvonne. Please, can
Yes,
you help me to read what you see in the first column, in the first part?
You have to receive that?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. You have to receive a letter from your pen pal. You know each other for some time. You know about his family, school, hobbies, pets, and so on. He wrote you about some facts in his life and asked some questions about yours. So you are to write a reply letter.
Okay, very good. Now, a reply letter also must show information, interesting information, the most interesting information that the person is asking you about. Now, please, the teacher, let me ask and find a teacher. Eduardo from Tláhuac Centro. Can you read the example in this reply? But the teacher, Eduardo, went to another place. He's not. But we ask the teacher, Leslie. Hi, Leslie.
Yes, teacher. Hello.
Please.
Example, my best friend had a birthday last weekend. We went out a picnic. There were a lot of people and it was great. And when is your birthday? How do you usually celebrate it? What present would you like to get for your next birthday?
Thank you very much, Leslie. That's the follow-up of the communication. There won't be a next reply if there are no more questions. Although you give answers to the questions you receive, now you have to continue making more questions. Otherwise, the communication will be stopped. And that's not going to be used if you really want to make a pen pal. A pen pal is a friend, in a few words, from another country, from another place. Okay. What is going to be the project then? The project is going to be the next. You are going to show the evidences of your new pen pal for next February, Valentine's Day. If you see in the calendar, Valentine's Day, February 14, is going to be on Sunday, approximately within 3 weeks. So you have the opportunity to make during these 3 weeks a friend. The condition, it needs to be a foreigner. But at the same time, you will assign the same project to your students. And on February 15, both you teachers and students will show the evidences of that communication and friendship that you made with a native speaker, because that's the main idea. I recommend you to use countries in which English is spoken as an official language, as a native language. That's the main idea, that's the main intention. And do exactly the same with your students. The evidences must be shown through your mails, must be sent through your mails. The teacher itself is going to write here in the chat the email for evidences, the normally that we use for English leaders. And we would like to receive not only screenshots of the text of them or the messages, but also we would like to receive a video in which you could reach that person through any contact in Zoom, in WebEx, in Meets, and your communication with that person. Even that you can say that you can introduce that person as your friend. Reply exactly the same process with your students. Exactly the same process. And I think, teachers, believe me, I think that you will find wonderful people, new wonderful people, friendly people, if you start using this website. Okay, so February 14 is the limit. February 15 is the limit to send your evidences of what you already did. And it is going to be part of your project as well as your students' projects. Okay. One more thing. We have already checked a listening activity. We have already checked a written activity, and also the speaking activity with the video to finish your friendship or to continue your friendship. But also there are some other schools that have used different tools to make the students practice their speaking. This is information the teacher Irina from Constitution shared, and I consider it was very attractive, very useful, in fact. And if you didn't know it was possible to do it, I will show it so that you copy this idea. Even the teacher Irina can help us. With this activity. What happened in this activity, teacher Irina? It was in a message that I sent to the group of leaders that I mentioned this. But I don't know if it was really a reply, if it was applied to all of the schools, with all of the students and all of the teachers. First, tell us, what is it?
Well, I took the video from a very popular platform. Well, it's social media, it's TikTok, and it's very entertaining, but also very useful because we can find this activity that is duet people. So the person in the video says, I am going to be, I don't know, the blue color, and you are going to duet me with another color. So you can record yourself with that video, so it seems like it's a conversation, and you have to apply from basic to advanced level. Even the conversations are slow, or if you prefer for advanced students, you can have a faster conversation.
Okay, and how did you see the response from the students? Were they able to do this activity? Did they consider that it was useful for them?
Yes, they actually loved this activity. They really enjoyed these videos, and I actually try to send them once a week, especially for Saturday students, because they sometimes don't practice during the week. But one day before class on Friday, besides the exam I send them this activity, but they really love it.
Okay, let's see if we can play it as an example here for the teachers who didn't know it was possible to do it in this way. It was wonderful. I like a lot. It's charging.
Want to practice conversation? Do it me. I'm red, you're green, and get ready for a fast conversation. Hey, when did you get back?
Yesterday morning.
Okay. How was France?
It was great. I took a lot of pictures.
Did you visit the Eiffel Tower?
We sure did. It was simple, wonderful. We also went shopping, visited my grandpa, and saw try of his food along with your wife.
Check, we are watching your files, not the video.
I bet you did. I'd like to hear more about that story, actually.
Of course.
You don't see the video?
So I can tell you more
No,
about
teacher.
No.
Sounds like a plan. What if I call you later on so we arrange it better? We organize the night, and I'll see you tonight.
Can
Is
you
that
listen?
good?
Let's do it.
Okay. See you tonight.
See you tonight.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, we can listen.
Want to
Okay,
practice
one
conversation?
more time.
Do it me. I'm red, you're green, and get ready for a fast conversation.
The tool is do at me.
When did you get back?
Yesterday morning.
Okay. How was France?
It was great. I took a lot of pictures.
Did you visit the Eiffel Tower?
We sure did. It was simple, wonderful. We also went shopping, visited my grandpa, and saw try of his food along with your wife. We had much amazing time in France.
I bet you did. I'd like to hear more about that story, actually.
Of course. Why don't you come over tonight so I can tell you more about it?
Sounds like a plan. What if I call you later on so we arrange it better? We organize the night, and I'll see you tonight. Is that good?
Let's do it.
Okay. See you tonight.
See you tonight.
Bye.
Bye.
I think this activity, it's very useful, especially because of the speed the native speaker is handing with the with the student. In this way, I think students can practice a lot fluency because they have to follow the steps of the native speaker, and it can be effective. Did you know that it was possible to do this, teachers?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, and how often do your students use it?
Like a project.
Like a project. Well, my advice is not just to use it as a project, but also to make it work with this, to make them work with this constantly. The more they use it, the more they will see results in their skills, in the activities that you are using in your classes. Not only in the final projects, please, teachers, but also try to use it often. Actually, the schools are receiving some instructions, the coordinators in the last weeks, they have been receiving some instructions to make teachers, computer, high school and English teachers, to make them use more often Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle, I think everybody knows Edpuzzle, but what you know from Edpuzzle is that there is a certain limit of videos that you can charge. Did you know that there is a certain limit? That if you want to do the activities often and you want to apply them, for example, 2 or 3 times a week, after a limit, you cannot continue if you open an account. Did you know that? You didn't know because you don't use, right? Okay, but what happens is the next. Now the schools, every school receive an account. It is called a license. The license is the option to use Edpuzzle as many times as teachers need. It is 1 license per school. As you can see here, all the schools are included. Now, for the teachers that don't know it was possible to use these licenses, I want you to start telling to your coordinator because they already have this. They have to tell you how to do it, how to share with the rest of the teachers in the school, and to use them effectively in your classes. For the ones who don't know how to use Edpuzzle, the teacher Carlos has already prepared some tutorials some months ago, and you can find them. Teacher Carlos, you can help us in case teachers don't find in the official channel of YouTube, Conversa YouTube channel. You can share the link right now here in the chat so that they know how to use Edpuzzle. But what I think is most of the teachers, if not all of the teachers, already know how to use it. Please use your licenses, and it's not an option, it is also compulsory. There are hundreds of tools that we can continue telling you, many things that we can continue telling you, but the idea is not to saturate. The idea is to do it well, to do it correctly. Okay, now what is one more project? And this is going to be the last project that we have. Actually, all this information shouldn't be new for you. I prepared by the beginning of the year a calendar that I gave to the English leaders. And I told them to share this calendar to you. In that calendar, it is included a project with verbs. The project with verbs is going to be for both, again, for teachers and for students. You might know that we have official list of verbs. These official list of verbs are coming per level, basic, intermediate, and advanced. The basic list should correspond to all the first 4 books, intermediate from books number 5 through book number 8, and finally advanced from book number 9 through book number 12. It means that by book number 12, our students should know approximately 400 verbs, 400 verbs in the different conjugations, simple form, the gerund, simple past, and the past participle. Now, what I want you to start doing is the next. The teacher itself also is going to share here in the chat. Please, can you do it right now itself? Share the link for this list of verbs. The list of verbs are already in a PDF document so that nobody else can modify. And this is material that I want you to share to your students according to their level. I'm going to show you the list, and I will explain in a moment what we have to do with the list. In the meantime, the teacher itself already shared in the chat the list. And I'm going to open right now the advanced one. The importance of using the advanced list of verbs is to increase our students' vocabulary. It happens that sometimes students need more words, need more vocabulary. They don't have that vocabulary to express their ideas, to express what they want to say. Okay, now I'm going to share right now here. Okay, and as normally in all of the list of verbs, we have the columns with the infinitive form, the simple past, the past participle, and finally one section of Spanish. That's not a problem. What you have to do with your students is to apply activities with them. One of the most common and effective is dictation. If you apply dictation with your students every day, you will force them to improve their pronunciation of those verbs, the spelling of those verbs, different things that you need to make out, of course, the meaning of those verbs. Here we can see some verbs that are not very common in basic levels, but the idea is to make them increase their vocabulary with the corresponding conjugation. When must you apply this project? You must apply them now. I mean, next week and every day in all of the levels. Our students should be ready after book number 12 with more than 100 verbs that are coming in this official list. And as I mentioned before, the project includes daily dictation, pronunciation practice, make them practice in context these verbs, and there will be an exam for teachers. The exam for teachers is already in a calendar. The calendar that I mentioned, your English leaders or informers already have it. Here you can see the calendar for verbs exam, and it is until April. It means that you have time to learn very well all of the verbs in the 3 levels and to make, of course, your students practice with them. Now, we're going to have an activity, one more activity. One more activity in another tool that we have. This tool is called Kahoot. I was asking some teachers, and I knew some teachers don't know how to use it. However, one teacher from Tasqueña, Sara, you helped me a lot because you told me that you use this tool with your students. So what I want you to do right now is to open in the same gadget that you are using right now. If you're using your computer or your cell phone, I want you to open Kahoot by typing, I'm going to show it here, Kahoot.it. It's KAHOOT.it. Anyway, please, teacher itself, help us again in the chat. All of the teachers, please have to do it. For the ones who already know how to play this, you will find it very useful. For the ones who don't know how to play it, you will see an activity that was already charged. It will take us only some minutes. And once you enter to the website, you will copy a pin. The pin is the number that you can see here in my screen.
Which number, teacher?
Okay,
I
I will.
cannot see.
You cannot see. Wait a moment. I will make it bigger, or I will copy in the chat. Also in the chat. You can see the number in the chat.
No.
Wait a moment. And the website it is
Yes.
kahoot.it. Okay, the ones who already entered to Kahoot, there are 5 questions related to verbs. Please start using. Okay, start answering because the activity will finish in 2 minutes. There are only 5 questions. It gives you the opportunity to answer it, each question in 20 seconds. That's why in 2 minutes you can finish the activity. One more minute and we will close the activity and we will see the results. Okay, 20 more seconds.
Finish.
Great.
Finish.
Okay.
I have finished.
Thank you, teachers. Thank you. Now we're going to see the results. I'm going to end the game. I'm going to close it. Nobody else will be able to answer it. And we're going to see the results. Okay, who has already played with Kahoot apart from the teacher Sarah? Apart from Sarah, who has done it? Please.
I teacher.
Teacher Laura?
I have to.
Laura, yeah.
Okay, yes, Eric. Okay, that's good. Okay. Now, who has never seen this game, this tool?
Me, teacher.
Monse?
Hi, teacher.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
teacher.
if you don't know about this
Never
game, if you didn't know about this game, I'm going to tell you. In the meantime, I am charging the results and we will see names. There are 2 websites for Kahoot. One for them is to play, the one you already typed with kahoot.it, but you will need first to register in kahoot.com. If you want to write down this information, in kahoot.com, you will register. Don't forget, right now it has it's very easy to register. You don't have to fill in with information if you do it directly with Google. And if you do it with your institutional email account, it will be faster, it will be easier. Once you register, it will have the option. Okay, it will have the option. We're going to close the microphones. It will have the option to start charging the questions. Yes, you can include any kind of questions in two options, in two different ways. One of them is multiple choice, as you could see, and the other one is true or false. There are more options, but for those options, you have to pay. But I think the ones that you saw in this exercise are the most effective. Now, we are going to see the results. I'm going to share right now. And to see who followed the instructions, who participated. 34 teachers played. How many teachers are connected, teacher itself?
We are 48 teachers.
And only 34 play the activity, so it means many other teachers didn't play the activity. Okay. As you can see here, we can see the top of teachers. Congratulations to the teacher San. Well, it says San. I don't know what it means.
Sandra, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I thought a nickname.
Okay. It's much better to write the name, the real name, so that we can identify. You will do it with your students. Congratulations. Claps for the teacher Sandra. Second place, the teacher Anna, but we have some Annas in Conversa. Who is the teacher Anna here?
I wrote Anna. I don't know if somebody else wrote Anna.
And the teacher Robert, third place. Congratulations to the teachers. And apply this activity, apply it. Prepare your activities, run it with your activities. It's useful. As you can see, there are options. What do you think also about the roulette? Do you know about Flippity? Can you show the roulette again, teacher itself, but now show it with the school's names. Please show the Flippity roulette with the school's names. Who knew about Flippity? Itself, if you give clicking the blue square that is on the over Torres, over the name of the school, give click, you will make the screen bigger. Complete. That's right. Also, if you give click on the clock, you can give time. Play it, please play it. And you can please spin the roulette. You can make a question to your students. Obviously, you prepared the roulette before. In this case, we are playing it with the school's names. And then you can make a question and you can give the time with a clock to Lord Reyes. For example, here the teacher Lisette from Lord Reyes. Is the teacher Lisette here? I don't see her name in the list. That's why I was asking if she was here. Okay, teacher Viridiana from Lord Reyes.
Yes. Tell me, teacher.
What do you think about this tool?
I don't use this application.
Do you like?
Yes, I like.
Okay, please. To use Flippity, I'm going to show you. Please, Itzel, stop sharing. I'm going to show you very quick the website. And actually, it has templates and it has different ways to prepare the activities. You have to enter to this website. I'm going to put it in the chat. It's flippity.net. you can prepare Jeopardies, bingos, roulettes, and the templates appear in the website so that you have to fill in some information and it will be extremely fast and simple. Then it means that with all the tools that we mentioned today, we have mentioned some tools. Amigos Ingleses website, globalfriends.com, TikTok, Edpuzzle. Don't forget the official licenses that teachers must be using. Now with Kahoot. Now we have Flippity, a new one. With all of these tools, you have ideas, new ideas to prepare your classes. Finally, teachers, before the teacher itself tells you a message, I'm going to mention the next. It's important to remember that we are expecting from you seriousness. The teacher itself is going to begin making some audits, some supervisions of classes, but also of numbers, your numbers, seriousness, the application of the mission and the commitment in your classes, the uniform in your classes, your cameras open. Please, right now, open your cameras, everybody, please. I want to see that you are in the meeting. If you don't open your camera, it means that you are not. Please, teacher itself, see this information. Open your cameras, please. Check and consider here in this meeting. Full classes of 80 minutes from Monday to Friday. Don't give classes of 20 minutes, 30 minutes. No, full classes must be given. For the teachers who are not opening their cameras, it means they are not here. So please, Itzel and Carlos, register this information. No Spanish in classes. No Spanish in classes. Spanish in classes is totally forbidden. It's the worst that we can hear in a class, in an English class. No Spanish. I can forgive if you don't open your cameras, but I will not forgive if you allow Spanish in your students, that you say nothing to your students. I know you are not using Spanish, but your students are. Yes, teacher Miriam? Strictness with your students. Daily attendance in classes. The students during these weeks after January, after vacation, students are not attending your classes. By the way, it is forbidden to change the schedules of your students. If your students are enrolled in a group at 7 a.m., the students must take the class at 7 a.m. The normal arguments, the normal information that I have heard from teachers is they cannot take the class at 7 and they are taking the class at 2 p.m. That's totally crazy. That's the word. It's not allowed to give the class in a different schedule to your students. Your students cannot give you excuses like they cannot take the class at 7 a.m. because they are working. Come on. People are not working. Students don't work. Yes? So if your students are going to change the schedule,
you with the camera activated, as well as your students, to see the number of students connected in your class, and if possible, the use of OBS, please. Yes? Then the second, let me tell you that there will be a person from the offices who will be attending to your classes also. Yes? This person is going to monitor the previous information I have already told you, the cameras, the use of the uniform, the students, etc., etc. Okay? I will give you the name later in these days. Then my third point is that I have prepared tomanotas to those teachers who didn't send the evidence the last week. Okay, so if you continue not following these instructions, well, the next step will be given. The next step is that you are going to sign a penalty of 50 pesos each day you don't send evidence. Okay?
Yes, teacher.
If you continue, well, this, we will follow the recount process till take all your groups. So please, teachers, leaders especially, give this information to the teachers so that we don't have any excuse in the future. Okay, if you have any question, this is the time you let me know to help you to improve. Questions?
No, teacher, it's okay.
No, teacher.
Teacher, I have a
Tell
question.
me, teacher Montserrat.
Well, teacher, I use the same link from my classes. For that reason, I just send one link. Is it correct or I have to repeat the link?
No, it is correct. Just I gave the instruction to send the links 5 minutes before the class, teachers. No, after the class, no. Just in case you are using different links. But if you are using the same, well, I have them. Okay?
Okay, thanks, teacher.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, teacher Itzel. Now, we are just close to finish the meeting, the information. Thank you for your time, teachers. Only some general information that I want you to consider. One of them is use the e-Academy. Please use the e-Academy. There are many activities that will help you also to have variety in your class, to make it more interesting, to make it more attractive. Prepare your final projects, the projects that are coming after the end of the module or the end of the book. Remember that those projects will be the letter of presentation for your advanced that you are having with the students. And make your job with professionalism. That's what we are expecting from you, to make your job with professionalism. Yes. Teacher Carlos, if you would like to make any comment to the teachers, especially about the use of technologies and about the next training that you are planning, that you are preparing.
Good afternoon, teachers. Yes, there will be a training next February. You know that I always help you. You have any question, you can reach me through WhatsApp. I always reply you as soon as I can. And well, we have seen that several teachers have started using new sales reporting. But as she mentioned, we are very willing to help. You can reach me, and I will help you, teachers.
The main idea is to make the classes different.
By the way, have you been able to open the books?
You mean the digital books, right, Carlos?
Yes, because they had some troubles opening them, but I sent them one program to open them, but I am still receiving some questions from some teachers from some schools. That's why I'm asking if you can open them, teachers. In case you can't, please let me know with a message now, please.
Does someone have a problem? Something important to consider is that those links are only for teachers. The links with the digital books is material only for teachers. Don't share them to your students. The students have to buy their books. You have to use your books. You have to use the lessons that are programmed, the units that are programmed in every lesson. Please help us to avoid any problem when the students buy their books and the teachers don't use books. Okay, we are finishing the meeting right now. I think we cover many important things. One of the most important things is the service that we have to give to our students, the professionalism that we need to show with them, especially in these times, to keep our students, to make the follow-ups, to call them, to make them back to take their classes, to report if you see any situation that shouldn't be correct during the service that we are giving. I don't know, for example, that the school is not opened and the students are going to pay. That's what I mean. The students go to the facilities and the school is not opened, or if we are not giving the correct service because of the books, because there are no books, report all of these details, all of this information, and it will be our priority to solve the problems that you have. Use all the tools that we shared today. Probably some of them were new, some others were not, and I'm sure you will give better results if you include extra activities in your class. Yes? If you don't have any extra comment, we are finishing our meeting right now, and we will see in the future. I'll try to be closed, enter into your classes. Thank you, teachers. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, teacher. See you.
And have an excellent
Thank you, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.